Good evening. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, everyone? Listening to me in Luton, Bedford, Milton Keynes, Dunstable, Peterborough, and surrounding areas. Good evening, everyone. This is not Fahad Mateen. This is Tahir Mahmood. I'm just acting as a presenter today. I think it was a kind of conspiracy that I was brought here as a guest. Then Fahad told me that he's late and he's stuck on the motorway and he wants to start this program. Well, I'm very happy to have a guest in the studio today. We'll go to introduce you today in a couple of minutes. But Inspire FM 105.1 is positively inspiring the community in all aspects. I used to run this show, Ask Your Doctor, a few years ago. Then I was very busy in my other commitments. So Fahad Mateen took this over, and since then he is doing a great job. People who don't know me, I am an NHS doctor working as a GP in Luton area. And today we're going to talk about men's mental health. But before that, I will going to ask our guest in the studio to introduce himself. I think you probably have seen him on the social media, in community events, everywhere. He's an amazing person and he's doing a phenomenal job in the community and a quite inspirational personality. So I'm going to introduce you with Uvaid Wilson.
Wow. Yeah, wow. Thank you, Dr. Mahmood. Should I just leave now? You basically said it all, haven't you? No, it's to really thank you for just a lovely introduction, and thank you to the guys and girls at Inspire FM for having me down here. This has always been something I wanted to do, so to be here now is really cool. So yeah, who am I? I'm Wade Wilson. I run X-Force CIC, which is a men's mental health group here in Luton. We do multiple different groups across the course of a week, all for free, all aimed at bringing guys together and trying to create a small community of people that are, actively making a change in Luton. So yeah, on a Tuesday we have our peer support group. That starts from 7:30 down at Rainham Way, just by the airport. Yeah, that's where guys get together. We play pool, bit of table tennis, just sit around a table and just chat, have teas and coffees. And it's just a really safe space for people to come in and, talk about how they're feeling, but also just to kind of exist. There's not many places for guys anymore in that respect. So that's what we provide on Tuesday. On a Wednesday, we do free football training. That's with AFC Awareness, a local men's mental health charity team that plays in the local league. So yeah, we were actually able to get Sport England funding for them and provide free football training sessions. So that was it was really cool. They're still running, we've still funded it, and long may it continue. And then on a Sunday we have X-Force Boot Camp, which is a men's fitness session. Wow. And that's aimed, again, it's free. You're getting the theme here. We basically want to just give guys an outlet to get a bit of fitness in. It's aimed at all levels, so you can come in like you've just been sat on the sofa for the last 10 years and done absolutely nothing, just eating crisps and drank bad drink, and and then you can be a top level athlete, and it's just about how much you want to push yourself. All the sessions are provided by a personal trainer, Graham. He's awesome. He really puts us through our paces. And it's just a really fun environment. It's another form of a peer support group. Some guys don't want to come to a mental health group, they want to do something. So football and fitness kind of go hand in hand in X-Force. But yeah, that's what we do. I've been about for a while now, and it seems to be going pretty good.
That's a lot. Before we expand our program, I don't know what time Fahad is going to be here, but I must say thank you to Vaj and Hosson for making us feel comfortable here. And coffee. Also Vaj make me a very nice cup of tea.
Yes.
Really, really lovely tea. Thank you very much, Vaj.
Yeah, he
told
actually-
me not to spit over.
He taught me just now about the importance of milk before hot water as well, because he said you don't put hot water into the cup straight away with the coffee beans because you burn them.
Wow.
And I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So you know,
He's a
he taught me
special man.
something. He's a very special man. Yeah.
Yeah,
He actually another one of my things that I do. I run Luton Comic Con. And it's a big, so people that don't know, it's a big event in Luton where we have loads of costume characters from Marvel and DC and, you know, all sorts of different comic books and video games and stuff. And yeah, we had a massive parade. Wadge was there taking pictures, and yeah, he's very, very talented young man and very, very talented with a cup of coffee as well.
So, Wade, thank you for all this information. Let's crack on our today's men's mental health.
Mm-hmm.
I think is nowadays people are opening up a little bit more about men's mental health state or mental health of mental well-being of men in the community. There was a time when people were thinking this as a taboo or stigma, not very far, but near past. There are about 40% people in their lifetime, especially men I'm talking about, they have some kind of mental health diagnosis in their life. And still they are struggling to, you know, come up and talk about this. What's your experience on talking to men about the mental health and physical well-being?
Well, yeah, firstly, just comment on what you said about the rising issue of mental health, especially for men, is something that I personally experienced as a younger man. I went through the NHS route, tried to get help there, was medicated, was given different treatment options.
I'm sorry, I didn't know about this. I didn't want you.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. I don't mind. I'm an open book. I talk about this stuff. But yeah, I mean, for me, I really struggled trying to find help. So yeah, that's why I started the men's group. But yeah, I think the thing that I find the most that I guess has kind of been a bit surprising is that I came into this with the same expectations as everybody else, that men didn't want to talk, that men couldn't talk, or that the social pressure is so strong that it forces them to not have a voice. But actually, what I found is if you give a space, men will talk, and it happens every week in my group. You know, I'm constantly battling that stigma, the men don't talk thing. I mean, if you go onto my website, you'll see in big block letters, men do talk, and it's on repeat. So it just reminds you, oh, hello.
Oh, he's the guest.
He's the guest, the host.
Sit down here today.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Father is here.
Meeting live on air. This is the first time I've done that.
Father's come up with a beautiful suit, pink shirt and tie, matching tie.
Exactly. It's mental
outstanding.
health.
Yes.
Definitely. It's men's mental health. So we have to make sure that we are the way we are.
Today you're going to be a guest.
Exactly.
Yes.
And it is nice to see you back on the host seat, right?
I thought that was because of conspiracy. You told me that you're stuck on the motorway.
No, it was real. Unfortunately, I was stuck at work. Last minute meeting. A problem happened. Safeguarding issue. You know how surgery works. So, yeah.
You're trying to show that you're multitasking.
You do better than me. I always say, heads down to that. Every single day, you do better than me. Every single day. You know what, Wayne? Hi. We're meeting officially for the very first time.
Yeah.
When Dr. Mahmood Taibai, I always call him Taibai because he's like other brother to me. When he used to do this show, whenever he comes and say, "Oh, I've done the show today about this," and I always used to think, man, I wish I can be there one day.
Yeah, definitely.
And then
we were just talking about you. You've done a great job, actually, Fahad.
Yeah.
Honestly, because you've been doing this show for many, many years.
Yeah, 30 odd years.
Yeah.
Wow.
You have almost interviewed every person in Bedfordshire and maybe whoever you got in the street. You were there and talk about that, and all sort of physical and mental and all the topics you covered, from Ramadan to the events and everything. And I think this is the kind of appreciation we must give to Fahad over the last few years.
Should we give him a little clap? Should we
Yes,
give him a little?
definitely.
Let's give him a little round of applause.
Jazakallah. Right. The main topic for today is basically men's mental well-being, and one of the things is very unique because men, when it comes to men, they don't like to talk about themselves, and who know better than yourself, Wayne? Because not many people know about it. Because Wayne is also our local hero
Yes.
in many different ways, shape, or form.
I didn't want to disclose it, but you have done so.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. You if you haven't seen him in his off mask, you will always see him in on mask appearances, and I always be very, very I always appreciate your
Thank you.
your duty towards our community. But one of the things which are most probably the most pressing part is the difficulties we normally feel. Why do men still find it difficult to talk openly about their mental health? You have seen groups in your groups, so what do you come across? Then I come to you, Taribai.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. We was kind of just diving into that as you come into the room, so it's perfect that we picked up at this point. I think that there's the big issue that we have is that there's this giant myth that overhangs men that says men don't talk, and it's just not true. It's never been true. If you look back in ancient societies when men would have huddled around a campfire whilst on the hunt for a deer, what do you think they did? Sit in silence? No, of course they talked. They told stories. They talked about their home life and their desires and their dreams. And as we move forward in time, men shared stories in the trenches of war, and men looked to each other during those hardships to find communities where they could be strong together. And then when you look from a religious perspective, men have always been very strong together. And I think it's a very, very recent thing, probably coming off of the back of World War II, I'd say, where you have a generation of people who have gone through real hardship and real problems that when they return home, you don't have those issues there anymore. And maybe the way that you put it onto your son is a little bit stronger, because how are you getting upset about losing a job when I saw my friend die in war? You know, and I personally think that it's more of a relatively new thing where this has come about from. But when you analyze it a little bit deeper and you look at what society does to men, you know, it does make, we live in a time now where toxic masculinity is rife, and it's the only type of masculinity that's talked about. Positive masculinity is never talked about, and actually being compassionate and kind are very masculine traits, but they're never talked about. I also think that when it comes to saying that phrase, men don't talk, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, where we're putting it out into the ether constantly saying men don't talk. Well, it's not true. Firstly, if men do talk, I mean, there's three guys right here talking. I mean,
Exactly.
One's talking a lot right now, but essentially, you've got to think of it from perspective of when you are starting to go through them problems. If that's the thing that's out in the zeitgeist all the time, it's not that society's making you not talk. You're making yourself not talk, because you're saying that actually I would rather keep it in than risk embarrassment, you know? And it's like we believe that men don't talk, therefore men don't talk. It's not that men don't talk, it's the belief that we hold inside ourselves. So to get rid of that, we have to start saying we have to start saying men do talk. And when you hear it, the one thing I say to anybody wherever I go, message that I carry with me is, don't say that anymore. Don't say it anymore. Start to say and challenge it. Say, yes, men do talk. Because if you're in that place, you two are men, I'm assuming. Then
I think the world has to learn a lot about men. The world has to learn a lot about men's mentality. Asking or telling someone how do I feel is a kind of perception of weakness.
Yes.
But actually, it's a strength to express yourself. How do you feel on that day? Okay, you're saying how do you feel. People, and especially men, has to learn to say these things and express themselves. I give you example, just short example of a survey was conducted about over 1,000 people men about how they feel and what they feel. So the biggest cause of mental health issue they described, the biggest pressure on them was workplace pressure. About 35% men they had it, and financial issue, as well as their own health, altogether put them on the bottom of the prioritizations or their own list of prioritization. So 40% of men in their lifetime have had some sort of mental health diagnosis in their life. 40%, which means that undiagnosed mental health is a very, very big thing.
Exactly.
70% have suffered with symptoms of negative mental health. Okay, and about 25% of men, or up to 25% of men, they have actual diagnosis of depression. So it's a huge thing. So for example, if my dad, my elder brother, my cousin, or my son has depression, and he hasn't told anyone, or he hasn't expressed it, I'm not aware of it, this is going to take the whole family be affected.
Exactly.
Impact on them.
Exactly.
So it's very important that men, they express themselves. They need to learn, and they need to say something about their health, and they need to look after it. We can talk about this later on as well.
Indeed.
What do you think, Fahd, yourself?
Well, it all depends. The problem with men is depending on which position you are sitting in, especially in the family hierarchy. If you're the head of the family, you will not like to discuss all your stuff with your wife, your children's. Even if you're not feeling well, you will definitely not do that, because
And what stops you? Well, this is the problem. That's what we're saying. So if, for example, as Wade mentioned, the kind of masculinity issue, okay, lone wolf, okay, you're the man in the house, you're not supposed to shed the tears, you're not supposed to be sad, you're not supposed to look stressed, you're not supposed to eat less, you're not supposed to be snappy, short, or doing something. So these are people's expectations, parents' expectations. You are not a machine. Okay, so that's why it's important that men should be treated, men should consider themselves as a human being and talk to their loved one, their children, their family. More you talk, more it's going to be easier for everyone to understand their emotions.
The problem comes in play when you try to regulate your emotions, and there are some early warning signs about it. But then majority of the people sometimes do not realize how things are working in their own lifestyle, and sometimes they know the problems, but it's really hard for them to believe on that. To see why they're excited, why the low moods are there, why different kind of symptoms are showing up, and that's why sometimes and to top things up, they feel it even harder to go to a GP like yourself to come and say, Dr. Saab, I'm not feeling well, I'm not sure what's going on with me, and so in terms of how can stress, anxiety, and low mood show up in men's especially? And if you try to compare them with women, what's the difference between them?
The way they take these things in themselves, and they bottled up. It comes up in different phases. Like many people, they become irritable, angry, aggressive, short, talking. Sometimes, like they're not talking to your friends, something else, and also eating different way, driving different way, less sleep, and using other ways of adventurous life, while taking drugs, going into different things, smoking heavily, all these kind of things, as compared to women who will talk, who will take, who will become calmer, who will become sad, who will show emotions, and will talk to family, talk to friends. And women will tell you how does she feel. Men will never do that. Men will really do that, okay? Because they think that if they told family, friends, anyone, people will think he's a weak person. He shouldn't be doing that. He's a man. He's a frontliner. Why is he saying that I'm stressed out? Why is he saying that I don't feel low, I don't feel well, I think I need to rest, I need to sleep, I need to take time off? He's not supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, like what I would say is, the world's changed a lot in the last, well, since I've been born. World's changed a ton for men, especially in terms of spaces, and that's what I like to focus on when I talk about this subject, because I think that if you can pull it apart and look at all the different areas, like you say, not getting enough sleep or your diet or anything else like that, but all of these problems persist throughout our lives no matter what, right? But what you can guarantee is that if you have a safe place to talk about it, if you've got trusted confidence and you've got people that are going to be consistent in your life that you can open up to, that's something that is more powerful than any drug that you can take or any therapy that you can have, because by having a place where you feel like you're actually seen and heard, that's true power, because by having that, you can unload, right? And this is the difference, the core difference for me between men and women, where for women to talk about their problems, they don't necessarily need the answer to their problems, right? They just want to offload their problem to somebody else, and occasionally, a bit of advice goes a good way. But 9 times out of 10, if I'm talking about my wife, then sometimes she just wants to talk at me. She doesn't want me to talk back to her about the situation. But with guys, we're a bit more logical based on that. If I've got an issue, I want a solution. I want somebody to talk through with me, who has lived experience, to actually dissect the problem and show me the path that I can't see, that they've already trodden. And when you have these spaces where they used to exist, they genuinely did. Men used to get together a hell of a lot more, and they really don't anymore. And it's because the spaces have been taken away. There, any place where guys used to gather, and then you look at the price of things nowadays, everything's going up. Social isolation's increasing. I think that women's mental health is suffering just as much as men's because of that problem. And what you're seeing is, as those places disappear, isolation increases, mental health problems increase, because life has always been the same. You're always worrying about money, you're always worrying about your children, you're always worrying about your physical health. It's happened all throughout human history, but why is it now we can't handle it? And the difference for me fundamentally is community. You look around at communities, they're getting sparser, they're less connected. For as good as we are at being online, we're not very good at knowing our next door neighbor.
Exactly.
Is it unfair to say that men has to learn a lot from women, because the way the woman is multitasking, leading a lot of things in the family, in the society, workplace, doing a lot of great things always. Men on the other side basically has been mainly the breadwinner, strongest person in the family, looking after the children, looking after the family, ignoring themselves, going into a different way of life as compared to the woman. When they get a problem, like women, as I mentioned, the woman has got stress, she will talk to friends, family, mum, anyone. But men really discuss their mental health with anyone else, really.
Unless it's a very good friend or a very trusted colleague.
At some point, because I think not easily.
Yeah,
not easily. Yeah, you're right.
Even talk to anyone unless things have gone really, really bad. Someone comes, tap on the shoulder, look, I think you need to go and see doctor. There's something wrong with you.
Yeah,
it's not a bad thing. People, they need some kind of support. There are two things in the families, like men and women together, and asking a woman help on this conflict is very, very difficult for men. Okay, so many reasons. I think we need to talk about this now. Why men behaving like that, especially when the mental health comes? Why instead of seeking help early, they go and indulge themselves some kind of activities which will deteriorate their mental health?
I think that I like what you said about, can we learn something from women about this, and most definitely they open up to each other a lot easier. They form groups far quicker than what we do, find new friends quicker than what we do. I do think though that there's just a bit of a rediscovery of ourselves though, more than anything. It's like, I think about when I was growing up and I had my football team that I played for, and all the boys on my football team were like my brothers. right? And I loved that brotherhood. And any time as a man that you're involved in a brotherhood and it's going really well, it's something that's really fulfilling in life. They don't need to be your blood, but they're your brother, you know? And I think that that's something that we've always needed. It's a very ancestral part of us because it's rooted in survival, right? Because if you think about it, a very, very long time ago, again, I like to talk about ancient times when it comes to this because I believe that our brains haven't developed much since that time. But when you consider that if you're part of a strong tribe of big, strong men, and your village gets invaded by another one, and you've got bigger, stronger men than they have, and you survive, and then you tell great stories about it, it strengthens those ties between all of the people. Yeah. I think it's still something that we yearn for. We don't want to go beating down people's doors and stuff like that.
Continue our talk after this short break. We'll talk whether there's enough sport for the men in the society available.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. In Luton and its surrounding areas, it is now time for Salat al-Isha.
लुटन और इसके मज़ाफ़ात में नमाज़े इशा का वक्त हुआ चाहता है.
This azan has been sponsored by Ideal Properties. Contact us on 01582 721110 or log on to www.idealpropertiesltd.co.uk.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة وابعثه المقاما محمودا الذي وعدته إنك لا تخلف الميعاد.
Would you like to sponsor the Azan? If so, give us a call on 01582 481 810 or email us on info@inspirefm.org.
From the studios of Inspire FM, the time is now 6:30.
Any health advice given, whether general, diet, physical, or spiritual, is general only and must be verified by your doctor. If you need medical advice, please consult a doctor.
Assalamu alaikum and good evening to all our listeners and viewers. I welcome you all to another exciting and educating edition of Health and Fitness Show. I'm Fahad Martin, your host for today's evening, and we are talking about men's mental well-being with our lovely guests, Wade Wilson and Dr. Tahir Mahmood. Assalamu alaikum and good evening.
Good evening.
Evening.
Officially.
Exactly. And on that note, I must say, absolutely thank you.
After the break.
Absolutely thank you, Tahir bhai, for keeping the seat warm. And it is literally warm. It is literally warm. And to be honest, I never intended to, by the way. Let me put that clear.
Well, I think when I saw this seat, it was very comfortable, and the technicalities in the studio has become more posher.
Yeah.
When I started this work, it was old work.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think, and also you got the program managers, Vaj and so on. They're really, really good.
Yes, they are really they are blessings for us, alhamdulillah, having such a good admin team led by such a good manager. But then again, Tariq, but yeah, these things have turned along.
Of course, took time to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well done.
And alhamdulillah, things have worked on a really positive lines, and it looks really nice and poshy.
The only thing is, Vaj and Sohan didn't offer us samosa, pakode, something. Just tea, cup of tea.
No, you complained about biscuit. That's what you complained
biscuit.
about.
Yes. All right.
Well, who knows? Maybe they will be listening to us and bringing a biscuit as well.
Never know.
So, if you have missed any part of the first half of the show, we were talking about men's mental well-being, and we have discussed few good areas. But before going into that, just a quick disclaimer that this program is broadcasting live today on 29th of January 2026, and the time is just past 6:30, and we are live from the studios of Inspire FM. For our lovely people in Luton and the all surrounding areas of Luton, like Dunstable, Harpeth and Bedford, and definitely all our listeners and viewers who are seeing and viewing us from our Facebook and YouTube live channels. So before...
Let me ask this question to all the listeners in Luton, Dunstable, Peterborough, wherever you're listening. Drop us a message. Can you tell us what is the leading cause of death in men under 50?
Yes, indeed.
So what is the leading cause of death under 50? Drop your message, SMS, send an email, whatever, or phone us.
Yes, exactly. You can
live.
You can
Give
call
us. Your
us.
experience. Share your experience with us.
Do call us. Do call us. Do send your text messages on 01582 481822. Send your text messages on 07779 481822, and share your experiences. The common cause of death in men over 50. Under 50. Okay. Oh.
If you don't know, last moments I will tell them what exactly, but I'm pretty sure people will be Googling it and they will come back, bombard the studio with the messages.
Hopefully. And you can send us a text message on 0158 or 0794 0779 481822. I repeat, 0779 481822. I end up giving my number.
I can imagine a lot of my brothers, taxi drivers, they're listening to this program, and you do not need to text now while driving.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Indeed. You can call us on 01582 481822.
Pull
Right.
over, find somewhere safe.
Exactly. So in terms of when we talk about mental health itself, as we know that this is a very, 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 very touchy topic for many people, and sometimes we do not know how to initiate that initial conversation, and sometimes we feel like, okay, we should not be doing that, and that's sometimes push us in a very isolated area. So Wayne, in terms of generalization, how does poor mental health affect our daily life, including work performances and relationships? Because you run those targeted groups, and I think so. There's another event coming up on 6th of February again.
Yeah, we have
So let's
answer the question,
yeah,
and then
please.
sure. So obviously mental health is a core part of everybody's daily life. The funny thing is when you say mental health, right, and you try and picture an image in your head, let's ask yourself, Fahad, if I ask you to imagine an image of mental health, what do you think of?
I will say a person who's putting their head like
In their head, yeah. So for our listeners that can't see, Fahad's just been grabbing his hair and putting his hand into his
exactly,
his head into his hands.
although very, very less hair remaining in my head.
You and me both, brother. No, but now if I say to you physical health, what do you picture?
A person who's not looking well, feeling
Okay,
well.
this has gone the opposite way to what I was hoping. Normally, most people would say if you used to picture physical health, you'd picture things like big muscles or people eating greens or people in the gym or something like that. And with mental health, it's always framed in a negative light, which is quite bad because we all live with mental health. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but our immediate association is that it's negative. The problem with poor mental health is the dramatic effect that it has on our life. If somebody's having positive mental health, then it's just a normal day. It's an everyday experience. But with poor mental health, that does affect absolutely every facet of your being, whether it's how much you eat or how much you sleep or how much you see your friends or how much you go to the gym, turn up at work fully 100%. How much you engage with everyday life. It's really debilitating to you. If you're somebody that suffers with panic attacks, for instance, that can withdraw you from everyday activities almost immediately. And yeah, I think that it's something that people should take more seriously when it comes to the negative side of it.
I think mental health is treatable. It's got different forms, from mild stress to more serious problems, leading to a loss of job, loss of relationship, and even leading to severe problems with the well-being of someone's. It could be physical and everything. Men traditionally they behave in a different way when they have got stress. As I explained, like some people they come with their headaches, some people come with digestive problems, some people they come with eating more, some people they go to drive car fast, and so sort of things out of character when the family find them is out of character, could be part of that. Also work-related issues. There's a huge. Men keep bottling up these things. If they're stressed, they keep taking it, and once it's gone above the water above the bridge, then and things they start appearing in different ways. Men's mental health has always been a dilemma. Always been a dilemma, never ever. Well, I think this is the time that people need to talk openly in the families with the loved one. Like Wade is doing a great job in the community. It's got loads of groups coming up, men's group coming up and talking to each other, supporting them, signposting them to get the proper help. Is that right?
Yeah, that's true. I think that just off the back of that, obviously to talk about the event that we've got coming up, one of the things that I think is really important for men's mental health is advocacy and, talking about it out in public spaces and holding events that surround it. So on not this Friday, not tomorrow, but next week Friday, Luton Library Theatre will be holding a very unusual,
different.
It's a very, very different look at mental health, which I've seen done in different parts of the country before, and proudly we're bringing it to Luton. We've managed to get all the PCNs to work together, which anyone knows is a difficult task in itself, but they've been really great working to help build this event. It's called Comedy on Prescription. So essentially it's going to be a night of live music, a couple of local comedians. You've got me hosting, you've got some poetry, you've got doctors coming up and trying to be funny, but they'll never be as funny as Dr. Mahmood.
We don't get time for fun.
Yeah, so we're just going to try and put, I look at this as a very British way of dealing with things, right? What we tend to do as everyday Brits is that when something's big and scary, the best way to handle it is to make fun of it. And it seems counterintuitive when it's something serious like mental health that you should make fun of mental health, but it's not so much that you're making fun of the reality of the thing, but that you're able to make light of a dark situation. It's the only light that can conquer darkness, in my view. And comedy is the best form of light, I think. It's a way of kind of unsheathing it and making it not this scary big monster anymore and showing it for what it is, which is just a normal part of everyday life. And that it's not something that you should feel alone in, that, most men feel like, it's just me that this is happening to. But when you put on events and you put on things like what I do with my groups, and you get people together and they're all there for the same reason, they all start to see that actually this isn't so scary anymore. This is something that I can deal with. Maybe that I can get help. Because I think that that's part of the problem. It's not the whole problem, but it's part of the problem why men don't get help.
Yeah.
Because it's quite a scary thing to do. So hopefully by holding events like this, I didn't fully explain the night. Hopefully you guys will do a better advertising job than what I'm doing right now. Elaine's kicking me.
Can I just ask next week, just being curiosity, is this, can everyone attend this?
Yep, this isn't a men's only event. It is a 18 plus event.
Families, they can't come?
It's 18 plus. Obviously, there's going to be some, some
Humor.
good humor, good-hearted humor. I don't want to say vulgar humor or anything like that, because
There's
it's
a chance meant to come and talk and intermix and networking.
Yeah, so there's good opportunities network. We've got famous Mick Harford coming down as well, ex-Luton player, ex-Luton hero, to be fair. He's going to be there. We've got lots of people from the community who are going to be coming up and talking about their experiences. And it's just a great way to come and meet people who are maybe going through the same thing. I mean, one of the things that I wanted to mention on here today was just that the biggest group of people that I find that talk to me about this stuff and wants to know more about my company are women. It's a brother, it's a husband, it's a dad, it's a grandfather, it's a cousin, it's their friend, but it's somebody in their life that they're worried about. Come to this night, check out what we do, see it for yourself. It's not often that we open our doors to all people, but for this night we will be, and it'll be a really good opportunity for people to come and see what the power of community is. And hopefully then that can inspire more people to tell their brothers, their uncles, their dads to get some help, because it's needed.
Exactly.
I think men try to brush everything under the carpet, but please believe me that your partners, your sister, your wife, your mum are the blind spot.
Yep.
They can pick up the things which you can't pick up. Okay. So you can't be saying, okay, if they say, I think my son, you need to go and see doctors. So don't just say, no, I'm fine, nothing else. But please pay attention to them, because some men, and most of the men are very, very lucky that they have got company, they have got family members, they have got partners, they got mums, sisters, aunties, uncles, and they talk to them. So don't just ignore these things. And if you have got any problems, or someone tells you got some problems, so just take it serious and seek advice. And there's a lot of advice available in the community. I was just going to ask Wade about these things before the break. That do you think that in the community there's no much support for the men's health at the moment?
I think that there's a lot more. When I first started, there was hardly anything. There's a lot more now. I know there's many groups in Luton that are offering support. Like you've obviously got Mind BLMK that do the drop-in calf on Thursdays, I
That's
think
right.
it is. So there's that. Obviously, the time's not great. Most guys are working during that time, but it's something. It's better than nothing. And there's other groups locally who are doing something like Men in Sheds. They're always fixing stuff together, and it's funny. I was actually I'm trying to come up with some material for my comedy night, and I was thinking about this joke that. It's funny that men only seem to talk when they're in side-by-side situations.
That's right.
I'm still fleshing it out, so bear with me. But the only time that we seem to talk is when we're side-by-side, you know, whether it's we're working together or we're walking together or, you know, whatever it is. But it's a side-by-side thing where we're not necessarily, we have to be doing something to get out. Like at X-Force on Tuesday, we actually had a different kind of session, because normally it's just an open, we just play pool and stuff, but we actually had a guy come in who done something called Art Against Anxiety. So it was a art lesson essentially where he's teaching us to draw, but we're talking about stuff as we're doing it. And when we have something to physically do, to put our energy into, the words just start to flow. And I think it's a really helpful tool to kind of use.
Yeah, I agree with you, Wade, because there's a lot of services available in our community about mental health, well-being, especially for men and women both. If someone really needs to speak to someone about mental health and stress them out, or something is urgent and it is really important for them to talk about any time of the day, just call 111 option 2. There is a mental health experts, professionals available for you 24 hours 7 to talk to you, and they will signpost you appropriately after talking to you. Please, if you don't remember anything, just remember 111. And when you call 111 on option 2, you will be able to speak to someone who is a mental health professional.
Okay, Taiba, I have a question for you as a doctor. Now, one of the things which men, or most of the men, find it hard to understand when to seek help or when to seek professional help for mental health problems or concerns which they're having. So, in your opinion, being a doctor, what are the red flag signs a man should be worried about? That okay, now it's time for me to go and see my GP or some kind of a help from a health professional.
This is the problem we were talking about. The men, actually, they do not consider that their problems is something to do with mental health. For example, people are stressed out, people are avoiding their friends, the family members not going out, lack of sleep, pressure at work, not offloading their emotions somewhere, and also coming across with some kind of vague symptom like fog around my mind and brain, and I'm losing my memory in young age, and I've got aches and pains in body. Apparently they are physically unfit, and they're not eating. Are they eating more, gaining weight, maybe drinking too much, smoking, and going into use they experiment some kind of drugs, all these kind of things. But the problem is, men always need someone to tell them, look, you stop it and go and see doctors. Men will be very difficult for the men to come and talk to doctors about this, and doctor says, I think you have got a problem, and no physical problem, you got to think about your mental health. And men will not take it easily because of their own perception of the body being stigmatized, and also we were talking about masculinity issue, and also what the other people will think, whether my family will think I'm a weak person, I'm a weak man, I should not be showing my emotions, or I'm stressed out, I should not cry, I can't do these things because I'm a man. I have to.
Exactly.
I like what you say as well about how other people need to look out for it, right? And again, just to kind of go back to the whole idea of a safe space and having that environment created for that purpose, because it's kind of like if you was driving down the road in a car, and from your perspective, you're driving, everything's fine, and what you don't know is on the outside of the car, it's covered in dents, oil is leaking out, the tires are flat, and only someone on the outside can see all the problems that you have with your car. But to your experience, you're still going down the road, so it might be a bit bumpy, but I guess I'm fine. And a lot of men do walk around with that attitude that, okay, yeah, I've got some aches and pains. Okay, yeah, I'm feeling very depressed, but I'm just not going to deal with it. It will sort itself out. I was actually talking to a gentleman yesterday about how if he had, he hadn't been to the doctor since he was a child. He's in his 30s. And he said that he would only go to the doctor if his hand was hanging off. So, yeah, and even then it would be a struggle. You'd try and find some super glue or something.
I think, like you gave the example of a car, if your car's got problems, small wear and tear, you got service, MOT, go to mechanic and check them out, and car runs smoothly and fast. But the problem is with the men is different. Men, they don't have this kind of mentality or thinking about themselves. They keep working hard, long hours, a lot of stress from work, a lot of stress from other things. They have to work really hard to make ends meet, all these kind of things, and this taking a toll on them. And they will not stop working or doing something until they completely broke down.
Yeah.
And someone brings them in to the doctors.
So when it comes to the physical health, how important the physical activities, routines, and sleep in maintaining good mental health is?
Big time. Yeah, I would say that, a good way to start is to get fit. It's a very, very good way to start. Just watching what you're eating as well. If you're eating 3 hours before you go to bed, you're probably going to have a worse night's sleep because your body's trying to digest this food as you're trying to sleep. It's not going to be a good wake up for you. So you start your day bad. It's a cascade effect. Everything else starts to go bad. You miss that first cup of coffee in the morning, everything else starts to go bad. There's always these cascade effects when you don't do things the correct way. For some people, going for a walk after dinner really helps. For some people, they need a bit more than that, need to go to the gym. For some people, they don't like going to the gym or going for walks, but they love playing football or badminton or some kind of sport. But it's about finding something that really speaks to you, because you don't want to go to the gym and hate it, right? You need to do the thing that suits you, but also gets you moving. But yeah, just getting the blood pumping, man. I mean, oxygenating the brain helps a hell of a lot.
Actually, as Wade mentioned, good physical health is the guarantee of the good mental health.
Yes.
Okay, and because if someone's physically has got long-term condition, to be honest, I'm talking about like diabetes, has got blood pressure, stroke, or something else, and these people are more prone to have mental health issue as well. So therefore, we add some medicines for their mental well-being. But good physical well-being is a kind of positivity for their mental health signals, and it's very important that people, when they are fit and healthy, go in sports and jogging, socializing with friends in a positive way. So it brings them some hormonal changes for the mental well-being as well. They sleep well, they behave in a nice way. But at the end of the day, as a human being, men are more prone to this wear and tear in the body, in the mental health, and they need to look after. And also the family members with them, they also watch their fathers, their brothers, their uncles, and their dads about their mental well-being as well, and give every opportunity, because a good family is very, very important for someone's good physical as well as mental health.
Yes, indeed.
I agree.
I absolutely agree. And on that note, I must say, wow, the time has passed so quickly. We just have under 2 minutes remaining to complete the show. So final key messages. What are the key messages would you like to share with the men who are listening today, or not just listening, but also struggling in silence? Let's start with you, Wade.
Firstly, I just want to say you're not alone. I used to think I was alone until I found my group of people. You don't have to come to my group. You can go to your own group. You can start your own group. You can join my group by all means. You can join a group that's already existing, but do something. Get out and find somebody. You will be shocked by how much better your life gets when you start to talk about your problems. So yeah, most importantly today, I want everybody that's listening to take away the message and stop saying men don't talk. Start saying men do talk, and we can genuinely change that stigma for the better.
Yes. And Tahir bhai?
Mental health is very cruel, and it affects not only man, it affects every single person in the family. You will not like to see your dad, your brother, your uncle, your granddad suffering with mental health. You will suffer as well. So it's important that as a family, you look after each other, and remember, men, you are not machines. You are human being. You got emotions, and it's better to talk. And saying I am worried about health is not a weak point; is a strong point.
Yes,
That's my
indeed.
way, okay.
Indeed. And
Yeah.
on that note, I must say thank you to both my lovely guests and host, Tahir bhai, partial host for the first half. Thank you so much for coming to the show.
you.
6th of February.
Yeah.
6th of February, Luton Library Theatre. Doors open at 6 p.m. for comedy on prescription. Check us out.
Yes, definitely.
Men only.
And you will see one of the Wades, either with mask or without mask. Definitely, or maybe both. Who knows? So if you missed any part of the show, you can always catch up on Facebook and YouTube channels. It's already recorded over there. But inshallah, we will be back again next week with a new topic. Do remember us, Yunduas. Until next time,